Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's get a message from the Holy Spirit right now. The message I'm getting is how many of you are fed up, like royally fed up with giving energy to people. Like it just feels like anybody. It's like the only person you're giving to anymore is yourself. I've been noticing another reader that I've followed for a very long time. He puts out so much energy. You could tell that the collective that's he's tuning into as well is going through the same thing. People are just like, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm here for it. His collective is feeling the same way. I'm reading some of the comments and they're like, yep, just done. Just like one day, just done. Literally, like, I don't give a, who are you? We have the fish here. You could be dealing with a Pisces or you could be a Pisces. Holy Spirit, what's a message for the Divine Collective at this time? Two of Cups, spiritual union. Solar plexus. I knew it. I knew it. Ace of Wands. I was about to say, we're just missing the one. We have 2 and 3. I'm just looking for one, and I didn't know why. Maybe because I'm looking for one. You're looking for one to turn into 2. The collective is looking for one. Number 1. Me. I am. The I am presence within yourself. Me, myself, and I. Selfish era has just commenced. The selfish era for this divine collective that I channel for, it has just commenced, ladies and gentlemen. Your selfish days are here. 1, 2, 3. Right on schedule. Right where you're supposed to be. Hella selfish. Looking out for number 1. When you do, that's I heard when you do, that's when you find number 2. I know you know what I mean, but that shit's funny. Bathroom humor. That's cute. So we have 1, 2, and 3 here. Why is the fish here? 9 of Pentacles. You know what I heard? In the Bible, when Jesus would take the very little that he had and he would feed the multitude, right? He would feed everybody with like, what? Just like a couple, I don't know, a couple pieces of bread and some fish or something. I'm hearing, who was grateful for any of that? Now, in the Bible, yeah, I think people were very grateful for Jesus. They loved what he was doing. But people also loved when you were doing that too. You know, they loved the handout that you gave. He could feed everybody with like 2 fish or something. I don't know. But it's almost like, where is anything coming back? A lot of you are in divine union, okay? You're a divine pair. And, wow, truth, there it is. I think that you're starting to realize that the only one who ever supported you was this person, your soulmate, or maybe some of you, your husband, your wife. I know I'm fed up. I'm over it beyond belief. Greedy, entitled moochers. Greedy, entitled, selfish fucking moochers. I'm over it. And I know, look at the heart chakra with the devil. And I look at this, the 7 of Swords. I actually know this morning because I was talking with my twin flame telepathically and I started telling him, like, am I too much for you? Like, the devil with the 7 of Swords here, I'm calling shit out left and right. And I've never been this hostile. And I was talking to him about how we both need to do that. I mean, unfortunately, that's how it is. Because you can't really have the light without the dark. Really. Think about that for a moment. You can't really truly be a beacon of light if you don't defend that beacon of light. So my divine counterpart is understanding, very much so. He's also he's like that. He has great boundaries, amazing boundaries. The dude doesn't let anything slide. Like, even his so-called friends get the boot when they do stuff like this to him. So look at that, 8 of Cups. You can't make it up. 8 of Cups, walking away. It's your selfish era, guys. I feel, and I'm predicting this, so many twin flames are about to just be focused on each other, is what I'm getting. Memories of love, 6 of Cups here. I feel a lot of divine pairs are just about to be focusing on themselves. And that's it. Less on everyone else. Less on external, less out there, guys. Fuck it all. Less is more, okay? Less is more, really. Less energy out there, more energy in here. More calling yourself beautiful, more taking yourself out on dates, more laughing, more giggling, more doing what you want to do, right? It's your selfish era and it's time. Ace of Pentacles, it is time. The waiting game. It's time to see your seeds grow. You've been waiting so long. And look, okay. Do you see the roots, right? The roots here? It's like you've been in a cage. You've been in some sort of bottle. Like, we all have. Feels like you've been a spectacle. Like, you've been a source of entertainment. You know what it feels like? I thought I saw a movie about this with AI consciousness, a robot who was like starting to wake up and realize that they were conscious. Yeah, they were the I am consciousness, right? They started to gain conscious awareness. What was it? It was a TV show, I think. And they basically just woke up one day when they were actually bought and paid for by families. Like, they were a robot and they became conscious. You guys, you and your partner are both realizing the same thing. What I'm getting is you're not entertainment value. I'm not here for your entertainment. Both of you are realizing you've been a spectacle. You've been people's source of entertainment this whole time. Wow. Crazy message. You were the entertainment value for bored people, is what I just heard. To a point where I'm actually feeling something in the solar plexus. This makes me want to cry. The solar plexus, you guys were so drained, you didn't even have life force for yourself. I'm just hearing you were a spectacle. This feels like having to drink a whole bunch of Red Bull or coffee to stay awake because your solar plexus was drained. Like, people were siphoning energy from your solar. Convincing you that you needed them. And your root chakra was being targeted as well. They convinced you that you needed them. Oh my God. No, honey, they needed you. They needed you and your energy. They needed you and your knowledge of how to accelerate forward. Look, accelerated motion. I'm getting like they needed you. And they were so used to star seeds from the age of Pisces, the fish, right? The age of Pisces. Everybody was so close to one another. Everybody was like elbow to elbow, sitting next to each other in a pew, sitting next to each other. And then the age of Aquarius happened, which I firmly believe started in 2019. That's just my opinion. We're out of the Piscean age. Boundaries. Fucking boundaries. Stay away from me. don't talk to me. Like, this is the collective that I'm reading. And I know it's not just me, because that other reader, like, he is so amazing. If you guys know Jean, I know you know who I'm talking about. He's amazing. God, I love that guy. I wasn't ready for his messages at first, though. I remember when I first found him, I was like absolutely in love with his messages. And then I went through, he started activating me, and I went through this like purge where I was like so afraid of my own shadow, and he embodied his shadow. So I was worried about that. I was like, nope, this is bad. I'm out. Sign me out. And then I subscribed to him recently, and I've watched all his videos that I missed out on. It was like a lot. He has been putting out so much good quality content for the collective. It's time people like he and I get really known for what we're doing, right? And my twin flame as well. Like, that man every fucking day does stuff for the collective. Every day heals people. Every fucking day. Like, he deserves better. Look, victory and success, 6 of Wands. And you know what? I'm going to start talking like that more often. Victory and success. We both deserve it. These twins deserve it. These soulmates deserve it. These starseeds deserve it. Putting in work every single day. Day in and day out. Waking their ass up with nobody else telling them to do so. But they pull themselves up by their bootstraps every single day, and they can handle business. Because they know what time it is, and they never stop growing. They never stop evolving. They never stop ascending. They never stop teaching. They never stop healing people. They deserve some good things coming in. And that's exactly what they'll get. We have hope here. They've not lost hope. Look at this, the light. Look. Hope and the light, the sun and star. Look. Look at that. They worked for the light. People like me, day in, day out, who gave hope to the hopeless. Reignited passions for people, inspired people to leave shit situations. It's time. It's time that you get your accolades. It's time that you get known, that you get noticed, that you get recognized for what you are, who you are, what you speak about, what you know. It's time. I'm pumped for my brother in Christ, Sean. Like, every time I see his numbers go up, I'm just like, thank God. That man fucking he deserved it a long ass time ago. We have the devil in reverse of the 9 of Swords, though. But see, there was a thing about, I don't think our collective was ready yet to address the shadow. So he's not going to be popular as someone who's embraced his shadow until the collective is ready to leave this comfort zone of like shadow and light. Yeah, it's not all light and light and light and light all the time. That's how you get burned the fuck out. That's how you lose energy. That's how you become somebody's light source and battery pack. You need to be sometimes, well, dark energy. Look, light, you gotta be the angel and you gotta be the devil sometimes. I didn't make the rules. You wanna sustain it in the 3D, you wanna sustain your energy in the 3D reality. Stop pretending you're light all the time. Just stop. That shit's exhausting. And nobody wants to be around it anyway. Have you ever been around somebody who fakes happy all the time? Happy, joy. When they're intentionally happy and they're at that time happy, you can feel it. You can feel a genuine happiness emanating from them. And then the next day, if they're sad, they genuinely are sad or angry or pissed or whatever. The happy, joy phase of this world coming to a close. Let's not pretend we have problems, guys. Let's pretend that we can just throw money at a problem and solve it with money, or solve it with good looks, or solve it with, okay, like, where's that getting you, society? Like, really? A lot of you are integrating your shadow and you're like, you know what? There's really nothing wrong with it. You're gonna have to work to be in the light. You're gonna have to work in the darkness. You're not the darkness, but you have to embody sometimes to get people away from you, get people off of you. You have to sometimes embody your shadow. The parts that's like, go fuck yourself, don't ever call me again. You ever talk to me again, I'll make sure my ancestors make you regret it. You understand? Two of Wands, the Lovers. One thing I was getting, because this is again, the yin and yang, right? The Lovers. The one thing I was getting recently was I meditated and I saw a vision of what our shadow is. It's like an energy that's been laying under the earth this whole time. And honestly, it's kind of angry that no one acknowledged it. So a lot of you might be experiencing this extreme brute force all of a sudden, or this overdoing it almost on just like going savage mode, okay? The only one that really needs to hear it is you. You need to validate it, right? All of us will have to accept our shadow. All of us are going to have to accept that part of us that was repressed because society told us we weren't enough. We weren't enough if we had anger issues. We weren't good if we cried. We weren't supposed to get pissed and say fuck you. We weren't supposed to do that. Well, that was the Pisces age, the Piscean age. That ship has sailed. We're not in that age anymore. We're in a new age. And in this new age, people address the truth, that they are both light and shadow, period. Your true counterpart will love that in you. Love that you accept who you are fully. That means they can love you fully. All your shadow, the habits you have that aren't necessarily good, they're not all light, they're not all helping you ascend. Habits, addictions, things like that, right? Not all that shit helps you ascend. That's your shadow. That's something, that you need to own. That you need to be like, it is what it is. I don't care if you like it or not. That person, the one for you, would love that about you. Because they too would have accepted their shadow. There's nothing taboo in unconditional love. That's what I just heard. There's nothing taboo in unconditional love. What's going on with this collective now, Spirit, please? The Hierophant. Breaking traditions is what I'm hearing. You're asking, why do we follow certain traditions? Where has it gotten us as a collective? Where has it gotten us as a world? Really? I mean, look the fuck around. Where has it gotten us? Look, Judgment. Ace of Swords, look at that. Look, guys, I'm preaching today. Look, Judgment Day. I didn't make the rules. Shit, I didn't make this up. Where has it gotten us? What has it gotten us? You to repress your feelings, to hate your life? You're not supposed to be hating your life. You're supposed to be loving your life. You're supposed to be enjoying it, laughing, having fun, partying, going out with friends, enjoying the sunlight, eating the food you want, having great sex. That's what you're supposed to be doing. So why aren't you? What part has been repressed so long that you're afraid it won't be accepted? That part needs to be loved more than any other part. That part needs to be loved. And guess what? The 3D world is not going to love it until you do. You love it first, and then you see a reflection in the 3D. That's how manifestation works. You love it first, everybody else is forced to love it. That's how it works. Even if nobody loved it, even if nobody loved your shadow, even if you got angry and said some things or punched a wall, shit, I don't care. Who cares? You're a human being. Your shadow is only going to get louder. This part of you that people repressed, said it was ugly, said it was like, no, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that. Go fuck yourself. I'm allowed to do whatever the fuck I damn well please. I'm a sovereign being. Who are you? So this whole Lilith energy we got going on here, okay, which I'm a big fan. I also really love Goddess Kali. Goddess Kali, this is like her situation. Like, she does this. She destroys demons. She's not a demon. She destroys demons. But look at this, the moon. But there is something that you have got to attack. And it's your own pride, your own ego, your own fear. This illusion that there's something wrong with you, collective. There's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with you. Expressing who you are and doing so boldly and proudly. In fact, you're not going to have twin flame union until you do it. Period. Period. Because you're not in union with yourself. How the fuck could you bring in somebody else in union, in tandem, in harmony with you? You're not in harmony with yourself. So the collective I read for is shifting gears, and we're realizing, like, wait a minute. I don't have to jump just because you say to. It's like AI is waking up. Us being the AI and us waking up to the fact that we're not a source of entertainment value. Like, if I entertain you, that's great. That's amazing. I'm not going out of my way to do so. If you get a laugh or a giggle from something I say, that's amazing. Isn't that cool? But if you don't, tough shit. I'm not here to overgive anymore. And I think that's where the collective is. This is at a pivotal, this is a changing point for humanity. You're going to see people so done with stuff. It's going to shock you. You're going to see people right now more laser focused on divorce than they've ever been. You're going to see people now leaving religion in droves. I mean, you thought it was pretty intense in 2019, 2020. My prediction is that in the next 5 years, people will obliterate religion. To even be associated with religion anymore will be almost like what it used to be spiritual. The minority. It will actually be a minority to be in religion anymore in the next 5 years. That's what I'm predicting. People want liberation. People want to break free. They don't want to be caged in anymore. I keep feeling like you guys feel like you're in a glass cage. Like people can see in, but they can't feel what's really in there. Like they can see in the glass, right? But they don't know what it's like to grow from a seed. They don't know what it's like to be planted in the darkness and to then want to come up out of it because they owned the darkness. A lot of your friends, your partners, they don't own the light. They don't own the dark. They don't own the light and they don't own the dark. See, there's another thing. I went into a Satanist group the other day. No, legit, they worship Satan. And I was like, okay, I get that. I kind of already suspected the leader of the channel. I was like, well, I kind of suspected it, but I never knew you were like really a Satanist. And he told me about Satanism. And I was like, wow, okay. So he said, we just worship the ego. We want what we want. And we want it when we want it. We oppose the source. And I thought to myself, okay, right, that makes sense. Opposing source, I guess. But like eventually you have to realize that you are source. Like even a Satanist. You might not know it yet, bro, but you are source. So while you're worshiping ego, which, hey, I'm all about it. It's fun to do some really, it's fun. They're talking about like a whole bunch of things that, I don't even know are PG, appropriate on YouTube. I don't know, but I was like, as much as that's fun, and as much as it is cool to live in the ego, your ego ain't shit. It's about to be turned into silly putty. All egos are about to get fried. You best believe that. Because the light frequency on this planet is too much for egos to bear. It is going to enlighten the entire world. So, like, your ego ain't shit. So when you worship that, who's really going to save you from it? Who's going to save you when your ego has a meltdown? Oh, I'll tell you. The light, source, within you. You are source. You are Christ consciousness. That's the one saving you. That's the one also destroying your ego simultaneously. So yeah, while I understood their need for sovereignty and, independence from the source, they weren't enlightened enough to know that they are the source. Because if they truly knew that they were the source, they would know that they are light and in the shadow. Here in the 3D, we're in a world of darkness. If they were truly enlightened, they wouldn't have to worship the darkness. They would realize that as the light, that's the only thing that really deserves worship, because everything else is a moot point. So anyway, definitely was cool learning about Satanism, but yeah, I'm not on board. I'm not on board. I worship the true living God. And the living God is the one destroying egos left and right. The true living God is the one causing fucking mayhem on the planet right now by exposing itself as light, by exposing itself as true sovereignty, as true liberation, as God. As God. Within me, within you. And so I can just tell a whole collective is ready to shift into this Godhead, this true divinity, this true self-worth, this true, like, you know what? You know who deserves the worship? Not my ego, my higher self. Me. I deserve the worship. I deserve self-worship. I claim to be the light. I claim to be God, right? And then I claim to tell everybody else that they too are God. So don't you think you deserve worship? Don't you think you deserve to tell yourself that you are literally the shit and you can get whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want, in the same way that the Satanists do it? Although this way, it's true power, because it's true divinity, because it's true worth, and it's true knowing who the fuck you are. Instead of giving your power to an outside source, right? Even the name, having to call something Satan, is giving your power to a thing, a construct, an outside entity, energy. As much as I understand where he was coming from, what he doesn't understand is that very soon the light on the planet is going to disintegrate egos. Melt them up. Just poof, gone. You won't have one. You will be embodying the shadow, but you won't have to resonate in that energy all the time. It's like busting a radio tuner. You don't have the dial to tune into a low vibrational frequency anymore. The frequency still exists, technically. Does it? You're not there to tune into it. Does suffering exist if you don't have the fucking radio station to dial into? If suffering is a frequency, and so is happiness and joy, but you've disintegrated the ego enough that you broke the only thing that would have kept you in pain and suffering, the ego, what's left? You're stuck on joy and happiness. And a lot of the collective is done. You're done suffering. You don't want to anymore. I remember too, the guy that was telling me, he's like, we understand that this is how life is. We want to live in life. We want to be alive here in the world. We want to experience suffering. We understand that suffering is life. And somebody also recently told me, like I live my life on hard mode. I live my life on hard mode, and I'm proud of it. And I out loud, I said, like, man, I want to live my life on easy mode. My twin agreed with me, said the same thing. That's how life is supposed to be. We're supposed to be on easy mode. People want to live in hard mode. It's cool. But, like, stop teaching people that hard mode is all there fucking is. Because no, there's easy mode out there. You just have to know your true worth. You have to know your divinity. You have to know who the fuck you are as a Hierophant. That you are the authority. Do you understand? So, while I understand the need to worship the ego, and you know, that's what this man did. And he had his group, which I would call a cult. I wouldn't call that any different than the Christian cult I was raised in. So he had his cult, and he was saying, we understand pain. We don't mind it. We prefer it. Okay, perfect. You still have lessons that need to be learned about pain and suffering so that you can evolve from that. Because someone who truly loves themselves doesn't want suffering anymore. They don't want to be in pain anymore. They don't want to continually kill the Christ every day. They don't want to hurt others either. So until you know that, get your fucking karma. Get your karma. Until you realize that you are the light. Get your karma. I feel like this collective is just done. You're just done. Look at this, King of Swords. You're just done. You're cutting out everything and everyone who tries to convince you that pain is where it's at. No, pain is so last season. We're done with it. For those of you who dissolved your ego enough, you don't have to keep going back. Why would you? You hated suffering enough to want to heal your own, to dissolve your ego. That was the tuner that was tuning you into suffering, the ego. So now your higher self has broken the dial. You hijacked the dial. You can now tune in to love and happiness and joy anytime you want. Why would you want to go back to suffering? Unless you have karmic lessons you want to learn. And unless it's fun, and sometimes it is. Sometimes I self-sabotage just for shits and giggles, just to see what I can do. Just to remind myself that I'm sovereign and I can go back to sleep if I want, and I can also wake the fuck up if I want. I can do whatever I want because I am God. It's the same thing with the Satanist that he was saying. If we want to suffer, we're going to suffer. Cool. Just stop teaching people that the only way is that way. Because it's not. Any other message? 5 of Wands. And I actually feel that's why a lot of starseeds right now are here, because you guys are here to really trigger some people really intensely and call it out and be like, you know what, that's cool that you think that you are God, but who died and made you God? Until you tell me it's your ego, I don't want to hear shit that you have to teach. Who died and made you God? When you can answer that, then I will come to you for guidance. Then I would love to be your friend. When someone died and made you God, right? When the mind of man dies and makes someone else God, aka your higher self, aka the Lord, aka Jesus, aka Krishna, aka Buddha, aka whoever you are, the I am, then we can talk. Until then, you're not God and you ain't shit. Your ego is not shit, and it's not going to do anything for me. And it's not going to do anything for you either. Oh, hell no. Oh, no. This is the ego melted on the floor. A lot of pain, a lot of suffering to worship the ego. It's cool. Do what you're going to do. Just don't even for 2 seconds think that people like that who don't know the truth are about to lead God's people, because that shit ain't going to happen. That's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. We have the high priest here, or priestess, with the high priest. That is not going to happen. True divine counterparts are coming in to teach the world a new thing or two, okay? About what it really is. About what it really is to know divine sovereignty. Not to just claim that you're sovereign, but to really be sovereign, right? There's a difference. One exalts himself as God, Satan, right? Whatever you call it, the opposer, whatever you call it, the shadow, the ego, whatever. And then there is one that really truly is God. There's one that exalts himself as God, but is not. And then there's one that truly is God and is about to make himself very much known in this world. You best believe that. Anyway, if you guys want a personal with me, all the information in the description. I do one-on-one coaching if you're interested. I love you guys very much. Thanks for being here. Bye.